Yes. Yes. Where the boxing fans at, man? We about to do this quick late night one. Whew, I just ate. I'm full. I want to get this off my chest. Even though it's late night, we're going to just do a quick late night session. Ego Army. See, y'all up late, man. Who has jet lag? Young Credentials in the building. Y'all up on them vampire hours. Man, I went to In-N-Out. It was so good. If you don't live in like Texas, California, Vegas, or a place with In-N-Out, I feel sorry for you. Someone said, why you up so late? Because I'm a grown-ass man. We got that overtime OT. Damn, I'm still in Fresno, coming home for the fight. Shit. Man, that Jose Ramirez knockout was nice. Did y'all get to see it? That was good shit. That was a good win from Mike Indeed. Excuse me. Sounded confident. Look. Oh.
For a moment,
Oh. He's buzzed right now. That left to the body is nasty. This was nasty. Look, we do numbers, people. Hold on. That left. That left hook is nasty. Listen, people complain. We do numbers. I just posted this an hour ago, man. This is on the gram. The stop, listen. Stoppage was good. It was a good stoppage. I don't know what Teddy Atlas, I like Teddy Atlas, but I don't know what he was like beefing off with that stoppage. It was a good stoppage, to be honest. Make sure y'all like the video. But yeah, this is not gonna be a long live stream because it's late, so we're not gonna have that many people probably on. Because especially if you live in the East Coast, England, it was a great stoppage, to be honest. So I don't know what Teddy Atlas was talking about. I don't like the stoppage. Like, why? He seemed pretty defenseless. And see, I watched Mike Indeed Reed fight live. He can box, but he doesn't have like game-changing power. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have, so being in that type of danger and a guy letting his hands go and you're just on the ropes. I mean, these young fighters gotta know what to do. You gotta know what to do in those situations. Like even Julian J. Rock Williams, when he fought Charlo, he got up real quick and then he didn't have his senses. Zab Judah did it with Costa Zoo. I mean, when you hurt, take a long fucking count. Like I understand the mind of a fighter, but you have to be able to operate. Yeah, man, this In-N-Out was. You have to be able to operate fast, and I think all boxers should work on drills. If you were like hurt, I'm not saying just go ahead and let people tee off on you in sparring or anything to make sure you're hurt, but you got to do something. Practice what you would do. Getting up real quick when you rocked. That's why Kovalev was spinning around in circles and shit. But listen, I just thought I was on the way to In-N-Out and I thought of this. Hold on, let me drink this lemon up. Yeah, Rigondeaux does that drill too. Listen. Now, I know I'm just one person in this boxing game trying to make a change. But in my honest opinion, I just thought about this, and I think this makes the most sense. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this will happen, but in my opinion, I think Anthony Joshua should fight Wilder next, right? Anthony Joshua fight Wilder next. And on the co-main event, Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Dillan Whyte. Dillan Whyte and Jarrell Big Baby Miller. To me, that makes the most sense. They're talking about, oh, listen, I in my honest opinion, and I know how the game goes, so I said it, I know how the game goes. So based on that performance from Miller, he might get a Joshua side. Joshua's on the Matchroom side. He signed with Matchroom. He got the job done and got a TKO. So they might give him the fight. But in my opinion, instead of like if we really just be honest with ourselves, I think my matchmaking is a way better card, because Joshua Wilder is hot right now. They both have knocked out everyone they faced, with Wilder only having one fight go the distance, and then he came back and splattered Bermane Stiverne in one round. Joshua had a controversial stoppage over Carlos Takam, but at the end of the day, he got the job done, so he's 20-0 with 20 knockouts. And if Dillan Whyte and Jarrell Big Baby Miller, my thing is this, neither one of them are coming off their best performance. Dillan Whyte just fought Robert Helenius and got hurt in the second round, did what he had to do and won, but Helenius, he didn't look like he was all that game, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, Dillan Whyte won. Same thing with Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Miller beat Marish Weck, but Weck got injured, which is not his fault. It wasn't the sharpest we've seen Jarrell Big Baby Miller. So to me, that would be a great fight, because see this is what happens in boxing. In boxing, you almost get rewarded for having a losing effort that shows vulnerability than you do if you look spectacular. I.e., look at Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he looked real good in his last fight, and now he can't get top names. But Adrian Granados lost his last fight, you know what I mean, with Broner, and then he got the Sean Porter fight. That's how boxing works. So in a perfect world, I'm saying that card that I just laid out with you would make the fight sell, because realistically, Wilder beating Dillan Whyte, that's not gonna, to me, that doesn't enhance the Joshua fight where I'm just like, whoa, Wilder can beat Dillan Whyte? Damn, Joshua better watch out. You know what I mean? Wilder's already had statement fights like that. Same thing with Joshua, with where he's at and where Jarrell Big Baby Miller, the most recent performance from him, he still shows he even said, I was on his Instagram, and that's my dude, Miller's my dude, but I'm just being honest. Miller said, I wasn't happy with my performance, but we got the W. So he even said that. So Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Promotions, why, if he didn't even feel he looked spectacular, is that Marish Weck, is that performance worthy? Is that performance worthy of a Joshua championship title fight now? Do you know what I'm saying? Based on that performance. Same thing with Dillan Whyte. Dillan Whyte beating Robert Helenius, how it all played out, is that worthy of a Deontay Wilder fight? You know what I'm saying? So I think they should put them all on the same card, but it should still be the top bill, main event is the unification, Joshua Wilder. And then the guys who are still developing, one has a knockout loss, that's Dillan Whyte, and they're both not coming off spectacular performance that you would just be like, whoa, you got to give them a title shot next. And I think Jarrell Big Baby Miller kind of admitted that. He said he says, I wasn't happy with my performance. And then Dillan Whyte, I mean, if you watch the fight, watch the write-ups and articles, no one was really buzzing about the Robert Helenius. So, in my opinion, that would be the best order of business. Because I honestly, from Miller's last performance and Dillian Whyte's, I can't say that is the fight that took him to a title fight contention off of those performances. You know what I mean? They're on the cusp of getting a big fight, but off of that, like, you know what I mean? Jarrell Big Baby Miller, when he knocked out Gerald Washington, maybe that performance gets you a title shot. But now, since you had, it's like Amir Khan. Amir Khan was doing good at welterweight, beat Luis Collazo, knocked him down like 3 times. Then he beat Devin Alexander. But then all of a sudden, he fought Chris Algieri coming off a loss to Pacquiao. Chris Algieri was moving up, and he struggled with Chris Algieri a bit. And then that's the fight, and he had a long layoff, and then that's the fight that got him the Canelo fight. Like, really? Was that really needed at that time? Maybe if he was coming off the Devin Alexander performance, and then you immediately made the Canelo fight or something, maybe. But in my opinion, Whyte and Miller's last performances, I would rather see them fight each other than fight the champion next. You know what I mean? So I think they still have just a little bit of developing to do, and I think that would be a good fight. And they're both kind of one and the same in terms of, it's like Jarrell Miller is like the UK, or he's like the USA version of Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? Both like not afraid to speak their mind and cuss, and you know what I'm saying? So to me, that's just overall a better fight. Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Dillian Whyte, and then Wilder versus Joshua. Period. But based on the contender level, or whatever you want to call them, Miller and Whyte's last performance, I don't really think that's the performance that gets you the big title shot. Because you have to look at it from a realistic perspective. Fans want to see the best fights and stuff like that. And real boxing fans, they've watched everybody's last fight. Everybody's seen Joshua's last fight, seen Wilder's last fight, seen Whyte, seen Miller's last fight. So if that's, boxing is what have you done for me lately. So if you look at it, people are going to be thinking of like, oh, this is the Whyte versus Linus. That's what led him to get the Wilder shot. And like Miller versus Marich Weck, that's what got him an AJ shot. But like I said, hey, it's boxing. You know how the game goes. Like I said, Amir Khan, he didn't get the Canelo shot after he looked exceptional versus Devin Alexander. He got it after he looked suspect versus Chris Algieri and struggled a bit. Yeah, I seen Amir Khan got back with his wife. That's cool. I mean, she's pregnant, so maybe they kind of had to. Like, I'm just being real. Like Jose Ramirez, this is the scenery of his fight. You know what I'm saying? So beating an undefeated fighter like that, him fighting Amir Mom, or like getting a title shot or something like that, off of that performance, okay, that makes sense to me. That's how I look at it. So if I could play ego matchmakers, that's how I would do it. Dillian Whyte versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller, Wilder Joshua. Because, like I said, and then you could fucking put Luis Ortiz Povetkin, since Povetkin's going to be allowed back in the WBC rankings, put a VADA eliminator, a WBC VADA test eliminator on that same card, and let Luis Ortiz fight Povetkin. That should be funny as fuck. See who's king of the failing tests. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think should happen, to be honest. But like I said, it's boxing. You never know. And oftentimes in boxing, when you don't look at your best, that's when you get the shot. You get that fucking phone call. Like, no disrespect, but like Gabe Rosado, Golovkin beat him, battered him, and like bloodied him up. Then he kept getting Jay Leon Love fights, Peter Quillen fights, David Lemieux fights, Jermell Charlo fights. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the boxing game goes. He's solid, he's tough, he comes to fight. Got Martin Murray. But the people who are looking like killers don't necessarily get them calls all the time. while I'm on here, I gotta break this down for you guys. Like, cause this, like, new media and like Ego Army, we gotta really be boxing fans. How come in boxing, the person who has like close to a flawless performance gets more criticism than people coming off of suspect performances who may be bigger stars? Have you guys noticed that? Yeah, that Glenn Tapia stuff was ugly. I watched that Rosado fight. That was a good win for him. Have you guys noticed that though? Because I certainly have. Y'all want me to repeat it? Once again, how come when people put together brilliant or better performances, they get blamed for other things that they should have, could have, would have done, but then there'll be a more popular fighter or something, and they have a bad performance and get criticized like less? That, to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, so using tonight's fights, I'm seeing a lot of people, Danny Jacobs this, Danny Jacobs that. Why are we criticizing Jacobs when he didn't even run his mouth before the fight, really? I mean, he stood his ground, but he wasn't really trash talking in the same vein as what Luis Arias is, Cuba Arias was doing, and he went out there and pitched a shutout. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how are people? Like, somebody left me a comment, Jacob should be ashamed of himself. Why should he pitched a shutout? Why should he be ashamed of himself? You see, like, this is the type of stuff that I want you guys to just look at and see if that makes sense for you. So when people say this dumb shit, treat the whole boxing game in comment sections. Treat the whole game like the hot seat. See if this makes sense to you. Jacob should be ashamed of himself because he went the distance with Triple G and came off of a loss, took 8 months off, got his first fight, new deal, took on an undefeated fighter, and because he couldn't knock him out, but he pitched a shutout, he should be ashamed of himself? Like, it's like, that's crazy. I can understand if he barely won or he was getting knocked around the ring. I never seen him hurt. He didn't get knocked down. He dominated the show, controlled the pace. It's like, what? And like I said, when it's a bigger fighter with that, let's say, that has more of a fan base, like Canelo, what Canelo did versus Chavez Jr., people like, oh, Canelo did his thing, and we knew that Chavez Jr. at least had been stopped before. He got his ass beat by Sergio Martinez, had discipline issues, doesn't train like a fighter, right? Didn't get knocked down by Canelo or anything either, but Canelo got a lot of credit for that particular win. How come? You know what I'm saying? Why did he get a lot of credit for the win? But then Jacobs, everyone wants to nitpick. So Canelo should have been ashamed because he couldn't knock out a dead man, Chavez Jr., who wasn't even really looking like he was there to fight. Just like some of what y'all put sounds crazy to me. You know what I mean? And I noticed that in boxing. It's like you pitch a shutout and you get more criticism for, yo, what up, to top 5 kills. It's like, why is Daniel Jacobs, why are we even on his back? He's coming off a loss. Still, like, okay, here's a trivia question for you guys. Here's a trivia question for you. Name the last big name fighter that took a loss to an elite level person, right? And they came back and fought an undefeated fighter fresh off their loss. And I'm waiting for your responses now in the comment section. And it could be any undefeated fighter, like anybody who is like undefeated with somewhat of a name. Luis Arias blames injury for lackluster showing. I didn't, what? Oh, he said he twisted up his leg or something, or his ankle. Man, no one's, that makes it worse. When did Kovalev take a loss and fight an undefeated fighter? And I hope you're not talking about Andre Ward, because that's just stupid, because he was pushing for the rematch. I said people are criticizing Jacobs, but if you think about it, he took a loss to Golovkin, off of a loss came back and fought an undefeated fighter. So who else did that? Name somebody who took a loss to an elite level fighter and came back and fought another undefeated guy. Kell Brook, that's a good one. Well, Kell Brook, that one's a little bit different. That was actually a good. That's a good. To me, that's a good try, but it's different because he was first of all, no one told him to take his ass up to middleweight. That's the first thing. So that was stupid. He did it for money, and then Golovkin smashed his eye in for that, basically, right? So to me, that was stupid. But he had to fight Errol Spence. Either he could fight Errol Spence at 47, or he would have to give up his belt. And if he moved up, basically, if he moved up to 154, then everyone would call it a duck. So that technically matches the profile, but it's not the same because Jacobs was not mandated to fight Luis Cuba Arias. It's not like he had a belt and the sanctioning body said you'll lose your ranking or you lose your belt if you don't fight Luis Cuba Arias. Roman Gonzalez, those aren't. I guess I should have said a new fighter because Roman rematched the guy that beat him. You know what I'm saying? Sor Rungvisai. I'm talking about lose to one guy, come back and rematch any undefeated fighter. Not too many people do that. Javier Fortuna, who did he lose to? Like what loss? When he lost to Sosa or what? Sean Porter? When did Sean Porter do it? He lost to Kell Brook. Then who'd he fight? Y'all gotta tell me who they came and fought. Who did Sean Porter fight that was undefeated off of a loss? He only lost to Kell Brook and Keith Thurman. Oh, see, y'all gotta y'all gotta chill like that. Like y'all putting guesses and you're just randomly guessing shit, and it's not even making sense. You can think in your head. Sean Porter lost to Kell Brook, and I don't remember. I think he came back and fought Eric Bonet or somebody, and then he lost to Thurman. And then he fought Berto or something. So anyway, obviously it's a hard question for you guys to answer because you guys are just making up shit. But again, bottom line is this: I don't understand why are people even criticizing Jacobs? To me, he looked sharp. He did what he had to do. He trash talked less and showed up more in the ring. Bottom line, Luis Cuba Arias did the opposite. He had more to say, like at the press conference, and trash talked more and didn't deliver on fight night. And as far as like an injury, you can't really, you put it this way. You can't do that when you trash talk that much because that type of stuff comes with the territory. Like Sean Porter just fucked up his hand and was in there with a very good, durable Adrian Granados, and he was all messed up because I talked to Kenny and Sean, and they said they have never been injured, like amateur or pro, like in the middle of a fight like that. So, and Sean Porter had to figure it out. Him and his coach, his dad, willed his way through it. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko, he's also been in Lomachenko he was on the Pacquiao undercard fight and he had a fractured hand. So I mean, injuries happen, and especially if you talk like down to somebody, then you think they're gonna care about your injury? No. And realistically, the reason Luis Arias probably twisted up his leg was evading the onslaught by Danny Jacobs, and he probably got his feet like tripped up or something and sprained his ankle or something. But anyway, bottom line is this: we gotta start being real boxing fans. People criticizing Jacobs for pitching a shutout. When is that ever? And taking the fighter's like off of a loss. When has that ever been a bad thing? Like real talk. When has that ever been a bad thing? Javier Fortuna lost to Sosa, came back undefeated. Marley Cabrera 22-0, then Omar Douglas. Well, then that's a solid one. But bottom line is, first of all, I think Omar Douglas had a fight, and I don't know if it was Cherry or if it was Fortuna, but Omar Douglas had a fight that he lost, but I thought he won. But anyway, bottom line is, I never said it never happened. It doesn't happen often at the elite level. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the elite level, Javier Fortuna losing to Jason Sosa, I don't really consider Jason Sosa elite like I consider Golovkin elite at middleweight. So that's basically it. You know what I mean? I'm sure we could think of a couple examples, but Donald Banks is in the hot seat. Y'all want a hot seat on the late night? Okay. He said it was a cherry. He said it was a cherry. So now you're trying to take away credit from Danny Jacobs saying it was a cherry, when the whole build-up, Adias wasn't talking like a cherry. He has an amateur pedigree. He had just won against, I forgot the dude's name, but he's on the Kovalev Ward undercard. And that guy was a ranked guy, and he knocked him out in like 5 rounds. I was there in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay. And now you're trying to call him a cherry because he put up a dud for a performance. It's so funny how y'all appear randomly after the fight. But there were actually people who were picking Cuba Adias and really thought he could beat Jacobs. And see, listen, people like you are fake. They're fake for the simple fact of you guys always appear after the fight. You know what I mean? What happened to all this, oh, Jacobs, he's chinny. What happened to he has a paper chin? He has a paper chin. Luis Cuba Adias said don't run, and he's going to knock him out. Where's the paper chin conversation? No, I was saying Omar Douglas lost to Edner Cherry, but he really won. Oh, I thought you were saying Jacobs was fighting the Cherry. Yeah, that's the fight. That's the Cherry. See, I got the itchy trigger finger or whatever, no matter what night. I thought you were trying to say Luis Cuba Adias was a Cherry, but again, fighters like that, when they step up to the biggest name, you don't really know how they're gonna perform. You know what I mean? Like Erickson Lubin. People were really rocking with Erickson Lubin to beat Charlo. I was reading it. My bad, Donald. I thought you were like trying to roast and like contradict what I was saying about Jacobs. But people were really rocking with Erickson Lubin to beat Charlo. I really seen it. They really were believing it. And I seen it with Luis Cuba Adias too. So, you know what I mean? You can't take that away from Jacobs. You're Fredro Starr from Strapped in the Bodega. Hey, you're tripping. Hey, that movie's respect. I remember it had like a weird soundtrack. Respect. They kept saying that or something. I gotta watch it again. Yeah, a lot of people are going for Lubin. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, guys like Luis Cuba Adias that have been around the block, have power or whatever, amateur pedigree, you ultimately... Oh, you said Donald Banks said I'm known out here. That's funny. But ultimately, you don't really know what a person's gonna do if they step up. Like even Errol Spence, I have faith he would beat Kilburg. That's why I did the 7 reasons. You know what I'm saying? I did the 7 reasons for him and picked him. But until we see it, you don't really know. So Luis Cuba Adias, he talked the part. So you know, I mean, people expect a little bit more. So my thing is just, I always see this. People overly critique the winner. They're mad at Terrence Crawford when he beat Victor Postal. I was at the fight. I was in like the 5th row, and he spanked Postal. So why are we criticizing Crawford and how he got his job done when he got 2 knockdowns and Postal did shit all? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like I see it all the time. You're mad at Crawford. You're not mad at Postal. You're not mad at Postal for being the taller fighter and fighting like he was a smaller fighter, getting knocked down twice, losing his belt, easy work. You're not mad at him. You mad at Crawford. You know what I'm saying? You mad at Jacobs for shooting the uppie. He was shooting the uppie. He was working behind the jab. He was a little bit hasty at first, but he settled into the fight, and he won every single round. And extends his reign to get another big fight. So he knocked him down 3 times? Was it 3? I thought it was 2. I don't know. I gotta check that because I think they might have ruled one a slip or something, but I don't remember the 3 knockdowns. But nonetheless, that's what I'm talking about. people always want to overly criticize. Oh, and I noticed that a lot of times they do it with Africa. It was 3. Wow. See, even proves my point. It was 2. See, I don't know. Y'all are all over the place. Fuck it. It was 2 or 3. But I noticed it too with a lot of African American fighters. People do it. Maybe it's just a coinky dink, but that's what I noticed. Like I said, like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford beats Postal, and Crawford ran. Why didn't he step on the gas and really get Postal out of there? Why didn't Jacobs get Luis Cuba out of there? He should have stopped him. Golovkin would have stopped him. Canelo would have stopped him. Like, listen, Canelo never faced Luis Cuba Arias. Canelo has literally 1 fight at 160, right? So you don't know. Could Canelo beat Cuba Arias? Okay, that's one thing. But would he have stopped? You don't really know that. I'm not going to do a long one. I'm not doing a long stream right now. But I'm just saying, people always speculate. You know what I mean? Cuba Arias could just be tough. Whether he's losing the fight or not, maybe he's just tough. Maybe he has a chin. You're not going to stop everybody. And that's just how it goes. And to be honest, some people don't know shit about boxing. And it's actually scary. To me, this is my opinion, and we could battle this. I think Triple G is an easier fight for Canelo than Jacobs is for Canelo. Styles make fights. I think, and some people are like, oh, Canelo would have destroyed Jacobs tonight. I don't see that. I honestly think that Triple G stylistically is a better and easier fight I'm not saying it's an easy fight. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that twisted. Hold on. Jacobs body suspect. What are you talking about? Your comment sounds suspect more than anything. I think Jacobs is a tougher fight for Canelo than Triple G. Anybody disagree? We can do a hot seat right now. And I can back up everything I'm saying why I feel like that. We'll do a late night hot seat. Yeah, he sound crazy talking about his body suspect. That comment sounds suspect. Like Jacob's body, you see his legs, his fucking thighs are suspect. Like, what are y'all talking about, really? I'll explain. I want someone to challenge me in the hot seat. I think Triple G is an easier fight for Canelo. Not saying it's easy, but I think Jacobs is a harder fight for Canelo than is Triple G. Yeah, I mean, Jacobs body suspect based on what? Was he curling? Even if you said Thurman's body suspect, he got hurt to the body by Porter. And see, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't watch boxing. Some of y'all. Thurman got hurt to the body versus Porter, and he was running like this versus Collazo. So even if you say his body suspect, that's one thing. But when is Jacob getting hit? Golovkin didn't even throw body shots. So and P-Rog didn't knock him out with a body shot. So what are you talking about? Like, when has Jacob's body shot been an issue? Anyway, back to my point. Who's trying to argue in the hot seat last night? Someone think that Triple G is a harder fight for Canelo than Jacobs is? Canelo has a granite chin. I don't know about granite. He has a good chin from what I've seen. The reason I say I don't know about granite is because he has a defense. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't... Listen, granite, Margarito in his prime had a granite chin. You know what I mean? And that's because Pacquiao was hitting him fucking foolishly. And he was just kept walking forward. Canelo, he could... put it this way. If I had to rate who had a better chin, Canelo over Triple G, I would say Triple G at the moment. Not saying one has a shitty chin, but the reason I would say that is because Triple G ain't got really no defense for you. You know what I'm saying? He was walking into shots and getting hit. Canelo's at least trying to, you know what I mean, look cute on the ropes and trying not to get hit with the full shit. You know what I mean? Even though there were times where he was on the ropes and then, you know what I mean, he got hit with a looping shot. But Golovkin was literally walking through shots. So to me, Golovkin probably has a bit, if we're just talking about pure chin. But the whole goal is you're not supposed to be trying to get hit flush. Triple G got a stupid chin, to be honest. But that's the thing, you're not supposed to be trying to get hit. Triple G beat Canelo decisively? Not necessarily. Triple G took that right side. So said he took that right hook like a side. He did, because that was the punch that pretty much knocked Amir Khan out. And Triple G was like, "Hey, no, guys." It got right back to it. Triple G got a chin. Listen. Yo, I'm going to put Stevie Omega in the hot seat. Oh my gosh, this shit is so easy. This shit is so easy. We got a hot seat, people. He says, Daniel Jacobs went 12 with Cuba. He ain't beating Canelo, man. Okay, you in the hot seat. So why would because he went the distance with Cuba, a guy who's never been stopped, why can't Jacobs beat Canelo? Dumbass triangle theories and random bullshit. We're gonna see how much you know. Why the hot seat though? Because you disagree. Let's see it. Because he weak in 12. See, that's why the hot seat, because you putting stupid shit. So now you got to back it up. Back up what you say. Why can Danny Jacobs not beat Canelo because he went 12 with Luis Cuba Arias? Oh, this is going to be fun. Arias had never been knocked down, and he was in. Oh, hold on. I don't want to give my arguing points. So I'm gonna wait for you. We waiting on Stevie. So Stevie, please explain to us how that equates to he loses in decision. So, yeah, you listen. You're only supposed to have 3 responses, and you're wasting people's time. You gotta start formulating real arguments. And if you don't, I'm just gonna say my arguments and bury you. You're just putting a bunch of. I'll put my money on it. He boxes better and is stronger. No, because it ain't no about. Last dude that said he's going to put some money on some shit didn't pay me. Dude said that Jacobs was going to get knocked out by Luis Arias, and I still ain't got my $40 for it. So I'm not trying to worry about that. And the next thing is Canelo has to fight Jacobs for that to prove. So who knows when the fuck that'll be. Do you think he's trying to fight Jacobs or Jermall Charlo? No. So we don't even know if he's trying to fight Triple G and he just went 12 rounds with them. You know, he might try to fight Lemieux Saunders or some backhanded stuff that people don't want to see as much. So anyway, you're not doing a good job, so I might as well just... He boxed well with Mayweather and Triple G. How the fuck did Canelo box well versus Mayweather? Do you watch boxing? How did Canelo box well with Mayweather when he lost? In some people's scorecards, he might have lost all rounds. After the 3rd round, he definitely didn't do shit. So how did he box well? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is probably some national pride, or you're from Guadalajara, or you're just a Canelo fanboy. He boxed well versus Mayweather, really? And Triple G, what is Jacobs gonna bring to the table? Is this real? Okay, so let me just body this dude. First of all, Mayweather's a guy who moved up 5 divisions, so you have to understand weight. Put Daniel Jacobs in a picture next to Floyd Mayweather, right? Daniel Jacobs is 6'1". Mayweather's probably like 5'6.5", 5'7". So you're gonna see an inherent size difference. And Floyd dogged Canelo, and Canelo didn't do box well or whatever you're lying about, right? He looked like horrible. He got dog walked. So you're lying about that. Canelo looked horrible versus Erislandy Lara. I mean, I can't say horrible, but he didn't look great. Put it this way. Mayweather's undersized compared to Canelo. Lara had a similar game plan, but he's far less aggressive than other people like a Golovkin. And him being on his bicycle gave Canelo a ton of problems. And I thought Erislandy Lara beat him, right? It was a close fight. Now you put someone who's bigger than Lara, who can box and use his legs, as shown in the Gennady Golovkin fight, probably hits harder than Lara, has more of a mean streak offensively than Lara, and you put him in there with Canelo at 6 feet tall, and you telling me there's no way he could beat Canelo. You sound stupid. Canelo didn't even... And see, this is how I know you don't know shit about boxing. It's time to just chew you all the way up. This is how I know you don't know shit about boxing. Canelo didn't knock out Miguel Cotto. Cotto would probably get stretched by Danny Jacobs. He's too big, right? Styles make fights. So just because Luis Cuba Arias, an actual middleweight who's 5'11", went the distance and was hesitant to engage, that's another thing. Like Canelo, when he was fighting Cotto, Cotto was still throwing punches. Cotto was throwing punches. He wasn't clinching every second. He might have clinched if he got hurt or something, but he was still throwing. He was still throwing punches. Luis Cuba Arias was very gun shy. Luis Cuba Arias was clinching every time Jacobs had him hurt, was trying to get some work off. So to compare that is stupid. Canelo, he has the Mexican heart. He's a boxer puncher, and he doesn't fight like that. He doesn't fight for like pure survival, which would create opportunities. I've never seen a fight where Canelo didn't show heart. I've never seen a fight where Canelo only clinched and wasn't trying to work on offense. So again, if you knew shit about boxing, you would know that if you have somebody who's apprehensive and hesitant, then it's gonna be harder to knock him out. Period. But you talking about Jacobs absolutely can't beat. If we're talking about people who went the distance with people, how come Cotto, little ass, compared to Canelo, who clearly outweighed him, how did he go the distance? How did he go the distance with Canelo? But Jacobs can't, and he went the distance with the guy some people even think beat Canelo, which is Triple G. You know what I mean? So if you can go the distance with Triple G, who puts on crazy pressure and is an actual middleweight, then why can't he go the distance and beat Canelo? He could beat Canelo if he knocks him out, and he ain't happening. Like, I like Jacobs. You don't know shit about boxing. You're getting filleted and fried to a fricassee. Stevie, you stevia. You're like an artificial sweetener. You ain't got no work for me. And realistically, you said he can beat him if he knocks him out. He might be able to knock out Canelo. If Canelo got hurt by Jose Miguel Cotto, what makes you think that an athletic Jacobs at 6 feet tall can't hurt Canelo? You know what I'm saying? And again, back to, I back up my claims. The reason why I said Jacobs is a tougher fight for Canelo is because styles make fights. Jacobs is taller than Golovkin, and Jacobs at least tries. It's not even at least. He does show a defense, so he's trying not to get hit. Golovkin doesn't seem like he gives a fuck if he gets hit or if he doesn't get hit. Like, it's just whatever happens. Golovkin be some cyborg shit, walking through shots with no defense. Jacobs is defensively minded, but he also has an offense, and he can use his legs like he showed you in the fight with Golovkin. So if he starts circling Canelo at 6 feet, Canelo's shorter than Golovkin, right? And you telling me he can't create a knockout because Luis Cuba Arias? Man. Christopher Smith, £2 super chat. Big shout out to the Ultra Instinct. Goku did it again. Listen, Charlo and Jacobs both have a shot to beat Canelo. And if you don't believe me, tell him fuck Golovkin and fight one of them next. Not Lemieux Saunders or nobody like that. Tell him to fight one of them next. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, this, we always get to the bottom of this. Y'all be fanboys. You're not even willing to really look up like boxing and really analyze it. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to analyze it. You're just on stupid shit talking about, oh, he can't win because you're a radical Canelo fan. Deal with it. But Jacobs, listen, let's vote because I got to get him out of here. If Stevie got fried in the hot seat, put your L's up. Put your L's up. Put your L's up. Damn, Stevie, they doing you in. We on the late night tip and you still getting done in. Bye-bye, Stevie. Hold on, let me find this dude so we can continue. Or actually, one of my mods, can you get Stevie out of here? He said, come on now. Nope. Shout out to CSM. Listen, I tell y'all, don't play with the hot seat. And it's not just about, like, when you start saying stupid shit, I wasn't even gonna put him in the hot seat. But when you see, this is what they do. They put a comment that's already stupid, and then I'll like say, oh really? And then they'll keep going on and keep saying even more stupid stuff. So now it's like we gotta joust. Now we gotta go into the hot seat and discuss what you're trying to say. And you making Canelo sound like he's invincible. The other thing is this: Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. I like Canelo, but he got one real fight at 160. Chavez Jr. was at some weird weight. Chavez Jr. looked like shit and barely even did anything. You know what I mean? So he really got one competitive, true fight with somebody fighting back at 160. Now it's Triple G. So we really don't even know how Canelo is built at 160. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even do triangle theories, but if little ass Mayweather can use his athleticism with less power than Danny Jacobs, less height than Danny Jacobs, probably a lesser reach than Danny Jacobs. If Edeslani Lara, who is smaller than Danny Jacobs also, can do the same thing and arguably beat Canelo, then why wouldn't Jermall Charlo, or especially Daniel Jacobs, who I've personally seen Jacobs get on his bike and use his legs a lot more lateral movement than I have with Jermall Charlo. But I'm not saying Jermall Charlo absolutely can't, but that sounds crazy to me. And then on top of it, Jacobs has power. Man, 2018 might be great. See, I'm gonna listen. Here, I'm gonna show y'all. See, I'll back up what I'm saying. Okay, so this is Floyd Mayweather versus Peter Quillin when he was at, I mean not versus, but this is Floyd Mayweather next to Peter Quillin when Quillin was at 60. Right? And look how small Floyd looks next to Quillin. Right? Look how tiny Floyd looks next to Quillin. Do you guys all see that? Do you guys see that? Now we'll type in now look at Jacobs. Look at Jacobs next to Quillin. Once again, look at Floyd next to Quillin. Look at Jacobs next to Triple G. I mean, you could clearly see size difference. Am I bugging? Or can y'all see this? Look. So, I mean, like I said, size matters, and Floyd's small. Floyd's small, and he was dogging Canelo. I don't want to hear shit about him being 23. Yo, we got another hot seat. I don't give a fuck what time it is. We're gonna do some hot seats. Where is that guy at? Marshall High. I seen two, so we got back-to-back ones. Marshall High, you in the hot seat. He says, y'all underrating Canelo. Canelo got hands. Canelo arguably beat. He said he arguably beat Lara. Okay. Now see, all this national pride and the extra shit and this is my favorite fighter, so I'm not gonna speak realistically. All this type of shit gets you bodied in the hot seat. So how are we underrating, or people in the comment section, how is anyone underrating Canelo? Come on, Marshall. Lara would arguably beat Charlo and Danny Jacobs? Wow. At 160? Wow. Okay. Come on, bruh. He was snatching Lara's body. No, fuck all that. How are we underrating Canelo? And he was doing a great job with the body attack, but he was also getting his ears boxed off for the first half of the fight. So anyway, how are we underestimating, or whatever you're saying? And how the fuck is Lara gonna beat Jermall Charlo, the guy he used to spar with, or Jacob at 160, if they can box too, hit hard? He got hurt by Angulo, and lately he hasn't really been throwing as many punches. He wants to work at a slower, comfortable pace. But Lara got better legs than Jacobs. But Jacobs hits harder, and Jacobs has legs too. What do you talk? Do you watch boxing? Wow. Marshall, you about to get this work. Anyway, how are we underrating Canelo? Which you keep putting every other answer to everything else but that. How did anyone underrate Canelo? See, that's the thing. It's not about underrating Canelo. It's about talking boxing and being realistic, and not necessarily overrating anybody. The fact is, Canelo's not invincible. No fighter is. You know what I'm saying? You talking about Canelo's being underrated. Canelo would snatch Danny Jacobs' body is all I'm saying. How do you know that? Okay, so does Jacobs have... You said Danny Jacobs could knock out Canelo. Yeah, he has the power to knock him out. I didn't say if they fight, he absolutely would knock him out. But he has the power to knock out Canelo for sure. He could also outbox Canelo. So, I mean, you're not going to try to play me against my own words. Yeah, I think he has the power to knock out Canelo for sure. But I'm not saying he would absolutely, but he could still beat Canelo on the cards too. What's not true, bruv? Who are you talking to? Man, Marshall about to get it. We are Marshall. And the thing is, Canelo's short. Listen, Canelo's shorter than Triple G. Triple G shorter than Jacobs. And we all know Jacobs is versatile to use his legs, box, and is 6 feet tall and hits hard. So how's Canelo gonna get on the inside with slow ass feet? Like, you guys don't break down fight. A lot of you guys don't break down fights. You don't break down fights based on like what you've seen. You break, but Canelo's da-da-da. What Canelo does versus Triple G, totally different than Jacobs, because styles make fights. Who got schooled, bruh? See, hold on, y'all trying to like have multiple conversations. Let me handle one first. Marshall in the hot seat. He says, I can't see Daniel Jacobs beating Canelo. Body work. He did that with Lara. I'm from Jalisco, just facts. I don't care if you're from Mexico, if you're from China. What does that have to do with anything? You about to get next anyway. And we're going to send you back to Jalisco since you trying to jump in when someone else is in the hot seat. Okay. What? Wow, you don't... Marshall really doesn't watch boxing. Oh, your name is Marshall High. I get it. You high right now as you type. He said, what can Daniel Jacobs do against Canelo different than Lara? Lara is better. He is an Olympian. Danny Jacobs is not. What Olympics did Lara go to? Lara is like bro, he doesn't know boxing. He says Lara is like Rigondeaux, but not really. That shit is a contradiction. It's an oxymoron, and you're a moron. How is he like Rigondeaux, but he's not like Rigondeaux? He fights nothing like Rigondeaux. What are you talking about? And yo, I've already bodied this dude. Let's get him out of here. He's clearly high. He's talking about what can he do. Lara fight was at 54. This is at 160. They are both technical, but one's at a higher weight, one's taller, one hits harder. So what do you mean? What can he do? And they're different fighters. Lara doesn't throw that many punches as much as Jacobs. Jacobs will throw multiple punches. Yo, bro, let's vote. If he got an L, let's get Marshall out of here, and then we going for the dude from Jalisco. He getting it next because he was trying to jump in. Yeah, man. All right, he's out of here. One of my ads, do him in. He's just putting stupid shit. Oh, if Lara couldn't do it, man, put Jacobs in there. Listen, Lara went life and death with Angulo. Put Jacobs in there at 160 with fucking Angulo and see what happens. Since you guys like triangle theory so much, put El Perro Angulo in there with Daniel Jacobs at 160, right? And tell me that it would be the same fight. Lara's a good fighter. I fuck with Lara. I like Lara, but styles make fights. Weight matters. Lara fight with Canelo, he barely won, if he even won that. That was at 54, and he's shorter than Jacobs. He fights different than Jacobs. He throws less punches than Jacobs. And again, it was at 154. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, put Alfredo Angulo, put Perro in there with Daniel Jacobs, and see what happens. He's the one that started triangle theories. He says, because Lara, what can Jacobs do better than Lara? But if we're doing triangle theories, what could Angulo do to knock down Jacobs and put him in a hellish fight at 160? Y'all getting body bag, man. Hot seat claiming more victims, man. We gonna start being labeled as a natural disaster. Like we just claiming victim after victim. Y'all gotta talk some sense. Like, listen. And the thing is, you know what the crazy thing is? I'm just talking boxing. I like Canelo. I like Danny Jacobs. I really like all the middleweight. David Lemieux, Charlo. I really like all of them. But I'm just breaking down the fights. Y'all ain't breaking down the fights. You breaking down friends and fans and who you like and shit. You're not really analyzing this shit. Talking about what could Jacobs do? What could Jacobs do versus Canelo? Really? I mean, the same. Okay, but using that same logic, what could Jacobs do versus Canelo? First of all, fucking make the fight, because I want to see it. Make the fight. See if Oscar does that. Tweet Oscar and say, hey, you used to manage Daniel Jacobs. He's on HBO now. Please make the fight. If you don't fight Golovkin next, fight Daniel Jacobs. And then we'll get to the bottom of it that way. But see, y'all scared. Y'all ain't going to tweet Oscar. Like, hey, Oscar, sorry to bother you. You're not going to do that. But anyway, analyze this. Let's talk about boxing, not no fanatical fans where I'm not going to reason with the fight. That's what's wrong with the fight game. Just listen to this. I'm going to ask y'all a question and put your honest opinion. And let's get the likes up. We have almost 100 people on the late night tip. Hit the like button if you're in the stream. Now, my question is this. Hit the like button too, because it's not even moving. But in your honest opinion, listen to the question. Honest opinion, who puts on more intelligent, constant pressure? Canelo Alvarez or Gennady Golovkin? Who has more pressure against just various opponents? Who cuts off the ring better? Who's overall puts on more pressure? Triple G or Canelo? Triple G. Look how many people put in Triple G. Exactly. Clearly, Triple G cuts off the ring better, and he puts more pressure. And he's bigger than Canelo, and he put on as much pressure as he could with Jacobs, yet he was reduced to really jabbing and one knockdown to get his victory. So you look at Canelo, who's smaller than both Triple G and Jacobs, right? Canelo's not even a pressure fighter like Triple G, and he's been outboxed before. And if you look at his worst performances, well, the Golovkin now, and that's a little bit different. But if you look at his previous worst performances before that, they were against guys who can box, and one of them doesn't even have the most power for Canelo based on Canelo's size, and that's Mayweather, because he moved up so many weight divisions. So then you put someone in there like Jacobs, who's versatile, who can box, who's taller than both Canelo and Triple G, and mixes up his punches and can get on his bicycle, has a jab, has an amateur pedigree, something Canelo doesn't really have, then it's a different fight. I'm not saying Canelo can't beat Jacobs, absolutely, but that's a very difficult fucking fight. If you struggle with Lara outboxing you, being new to a division with a bigger, stronger guy who, let's say he doesn't move as much as Lara, he could still fucking move. And the king of cutting off the ring at the middleweight division is Golovkin, and he had issue with Jacobs. Abel Sanchez, I got an interview with him right now, and he says, I think Jacobs beats Canelo. I have it on tape. And he said that. He said that before the Golovkin fight. This was during fight week at the press conference. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sound crazy. Y'all sound crazy. Like I said, it's a good fight. Canelo. And see, this is the thing. It's like, Triple G's slow. Triple G's slow. You know what I'm saying? He does what he does well, but he's slow. Jacobs is not. Jacobs clearly faster than Luis Cuba Arias. Canelo has slow feet. All right, go on the ropes with Jacobs like you did with Triple G, who's slow. You might be able to get away with the Triple G based on his slow speed, but Jacobs is athletic and in shape. So go on the ropes with him. I want to see Canelo do all that shit on the ropes like that with Jacobs, especially someone who's going to let his hands go with athleticism and a crazier, like a longer reach and shit. Carlos, you sound stupid. Like, you got to put pride and all this extra shit aside. Timing beats speed. Okay, Jacobs has good timing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys say cliche shit. If you want to jump in the hot seat, you can step up and do that, and we could just settle that like that. Instead of saying cliche, timing beats speed. So Jacobs don't have good timing and isn't bigger than Canelo? You know what I'm saying? We know timing beats speed. It's not just about speed. It's not. That's the whole thing. It's not that he's just doing one thing. And Jacobs he's fast, but he's not like Roy Jones, Pacquiao fast. So it's not like he just relies on speed. He varies his speed. He has good speed, etc. He just has all-around basics. Jacobs is a better all-around than Canelo chat bout. Yeah. I mean, definitely has all-around, like, more all-around skill. Get on he's athletic, can get on his bike. He literally walked Luis Cuba Arias down for majority of the fight. You know what I'm saying? All that shit Luis Cuba Arias was talking about don't run. And he was the one backing up. Arias was the one backing up. And Jacobs was the one walking him down. Great point. Someone said Andy could switch to southpaw. Yeah, so if he did it to Golovkin, who's the most dangerous middleweight, he did it to him. He did get caught in transition, I think, on the ropes. That's when he got knocked down. But he still was trying different things, and he did it to set up Luis Cuba Arias. See, that little, whoever said that, you're a genius, because little stuff like that, oh my gosh, Carlos wants the hot seat so bad. Little things like that. He said, didn't say Jacobs don't have timing. Triple G's is better. Where was Triple G's timing when he fought Jacobs? His timing didn't look great. He was just jabbing. So what are you talking about? Carlos, shut the fuck up. You just escaped the hot seat. That's what. See, listen. And y'all gonna say my channel, I'm the bully, and all types of shit like that. But I try to ignore what people are saying. I'm like, okay, this dude just doesn't know shit about boxing, and then they keep going, and then I gotta bury him. Carlos, you really don't know shit. Like, just sit back, put other comments, but when it comes to this, the stuff you're saying proves you don't know it. Stop, because when you keep doing it, then it puts me in a bad place, because now I gotta put you in the hot seat, and we're just trying to have a conversation. He was like, yeah. He has Jacobs. I never said he never had timing, but Triple G's is better. So where was Triple G's great timing when he fought Jacobs? All he was doing he wasn't getting off counters like he did with other people. He was merely jabbing. So where was that impeccable timing? Since Triple G has better timing. See, again, you just say shit, but you don't think about it. And then Triple G, listen. Triple G, oh my gosh, my moderators is putting you in the hot seat, eating you alive. My moderator, fucking J-Dog, said Triple G landed 8 body shots versus Canelo. So once again, like you said, if Triple G's timing is so great, then why couldn't he time some body shots in a 12-round affair? He landed 8 body shots, and it's because Canelo has a defense, so he couldn't really get off. So once again, you don't know shit. You're just saying cliche shit, and you keep putting them dumb comments. I'm gonna put you in a hot seat, and then you're not gonna be able to make it to this end of this stream, Carlos. And you like I said, a lot of you dudes want to talk with like pride and, oh yeah, he's my friend, or like, I like him. Talk with some sense. I'm talking about Triple G's timing's better, but he struggled with Jacobs and couldn't really get anything off other than a timed jab, and he landed 8 body shots on Canelo. Crazy. Triple G's been getting exposed his last 3 fights. That's a fact. That's what I'm saying. See, but y'all listen to ESPN, HBO, or whoever, Lampley. Y'all listen to all that shit too much, and you don't really analyze it. And see, I know who knows boxing and who's equipped to deal with this hot seat. But y'all, a lot of y'all aren't, because Jim Lampley ain't here to help you. Larry Merchant and Harold Letterman, they're not here to help you in the hot seat. ESPN, Dan Rayfield, all the people putting Lomachenko #1 as pound for pound, they're not here to help your arguments. It's just you and the hot seat and me. So if you don't know boxing, you're just better off not repeatedly putting this crazy shit. Okay, Jim. Damn, like Carlos is like just, I'm trying to let people off the hook so we can just talk boxing, and they just keep saying it. Timing beats speed. Like, really? Bottom line is Jacobs is a tough fight for Canelo. I don't care what Charlo's a tough fight for Canelo. I think both of those fights are tougher for Canelo than Triple G, especially since he already fought Triple G. Triple G's slow. He knows what Triple G's gonna bring from sharing the ring. Charlo is a different style of fight. They're both bigger than Triple G, size-wise, at least height. Probably have a longer reach, and they can use their legs probably better. They're overall faster than Triple G with power. I'm trying to tell y'all, but y'all want to make this like a race thing or whatever you guys are trying to do, but really analyze the fight, and you'll understand that Jacobs is a tough fight. I mean, put it this way, Jacobs is a tough fight for anybody. Okay, listen, I just thought about something. Jacobs is a tough fight for Lemieux, Saunders. He was a tough fight for Triple G. So why wouldn't he be a tough fight for Canelo, who just moved up to the division? Like, really analyze that. So it's like, not even just Canelo, y'all. See, but y'all hear the name. No, he's not tough for my Canelo. Yes, he is. Hit the notification bell at the top of your screen. Yeah, do that. Man, hit that like button. We should be at triple digits. I've been on over an hour just bumping my gums. I wasn't even supposed to be on this long. I don't think Golden Boy gonna make that fight. Of course they're not, because they are promoting Jacobs. And if you watch Jacobs' recent fights, he looks like he's maybe even improving from when Golden Boy had it. So Oscar knows Jacobs. They were both in Iraq or some shit. They were doing some kind of like Veterans Day parade or you know what I mean, like taking gifts to the troops. So Oscar De La Hoya is in a picture with Daniel Jacobs and Broner when he was managing them. So he knows them very well because he used to promote their shows. And then, like I said, I'm sure he's watched triple. If his prized pupil Canelo is fighting Golovkin, I'm pretty sure De La Hoya watched Jacobs versus Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's seen how tough he was. So yeah, De La Hoya probably ain't gonna make that Jacobs fight. And I'm not even stereotype like this. I'm not even trying to stereotype, but African American fighters, a lot of times there's a different rhythmic slickness. See, Canelo has rhythm when he fights, but it's still different than a lot of, like, put it this way, like, how do I say this? I'm not trying to sound like too stereotypical, because not every fight, I'm not saying every African American fighter is rhythmic or slick, because like James Kirkland isn't, but I'm just saying by and large there's a lot of, like, if you look at guys who are athletic and slick that are African American, I would say they're probably slicker than Canelo, like, in general. Like, how do I say it? Demetrius Andrade, he has a slickness. Canelo's slick, but is he Demetrius Andrade? Is he Edeslani Lara slick? Honestly, that's my question to you guys. Is Canelo, he's slick. You've seen that versus Golovkin, but is he Mayweather slick? Is he as slick as Lara? Is he as slick as Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade? No. Canelo does not have any power at 160. He landed flush on Triple G and Chavez to zero effect. That's debatable. I mean, I think he still has power. Like, I don't think you just disrespect his power, but that's a good point, though, in terms of, like, Chavez Jr. didn't go anywhere. Boxingego makes sense what you say. Well, I try to. I mean, I try to think from that type of, like, what I see. Like I said, Canelo's slick, but he's not Mayweather slick. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the slickest black fighters, Canelo, what he does is, like, you would say it's a poor man's version of slickness. Like, is Crawford less slick than Canelo? Do you get what I'm saying? Is Canelo more slick than Crawford? That's my question. Nope, exactly. Someone said hell no. That's what I'm saying, and you could tell because, like, it, like, a lot of boxing is where you, like, who trained you and where you, like, picked up stuff, and it's just how you're trained and shit like that. Like, if Canelo was as slick as Crawford, how come I really don't remember him ever switching to southpaw? Does anyone remember a major fight he had where Canelo switched to southpaw? Please, somebody let me know what fight that is. Right? Has anyone, literally, I'm asking you guys, has anyone seen Canelo switch to southpaw in one of his major fights? Never. I really don't remember a time. Like, I seriously, I've even seen Floyd do it. We obviously seen Crawford do it, but Jacobs in his last two fights, he switched to southpaw as a righty. Not to my knowledge. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's different levels of slickness, and we already know Mayweather slick regardless. No, my moderator, you're wrong. He said ego. Crawford is not fair. He's ambidextrous. He's ambidextrous. I talked to his trainer, Bomac, and he told me that's just because we practice in the gym. So he was not like he was just born into this. He said he's been doing that since he's a kid. Besides, Daniel Jacobs, he switched. I just mentioned Daniel Jacobs switched to southpaw in his last two fights, Luis Cuba Arias and Triple G. When did he switch versus Trout to southpaw? I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Yes, Jacob switched to southpaw more than once versus Luis Cuba Arias, and he switched to southpaw versus Triple G. Yes, he did. I mean, and see, like, here's a, oh my gosh, y'all gotta study boxing. Here's another thing, and I'm not trying to act like a know-it-all, but here's another example of what the fuck I'm talking about, right? How, yes, you said, hell yeah, Jacobs makes it look natural. Speaking of make it look natural, Canelo probably tried to throw Golovkin off, so he used. Hey, should we get Carlos up out of here? Cause he just keeps putting like, it's late. I'm trying to finish this stream, and Carlos will not stop with these comments. Every comment he's saying makes me want to put him in the hot seat again and reburn him. Like, I don't even know how he's still here. Listen, one of my mods, get Carlos Spinal or whatever his name is. It's Spinal. Thank you. Get him out of here. Everything he's saying is like an irritant. Because we're trying to have a regular conversation. He keeps putting, yeah, he failed. Jacobs failed. Like, no, we're not showing mercy, man. He's just, everything he's putting is like, like, you don't know what you're talking about. You've proven that. But anyway, and I'm like forgetting this late and shit. I'm forgetting what we're even talking about. Oh, here. This is my last point with this whole shit. Speaking of the slickness thing, Canelo Alvarez versus Golovkin, he introduced more movement than we're accustomed to seeing him. Do you guys remember Canelo using his legs and getting on his bicycle early? But he couldn't even keep that up, and he looked exasperated and super tired by the second half of the fight. Tell me I'm lying. Did anyone see Canelo using a lot more leg movement in the Triple G fight? Right? Anyone see that? Yes, no, maybe so. He used his legs a lot. And he looked like his hands down low. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm talking about. When you talk about, that's why I said he's slick, but it's still like, it's not as authentic and natural slickness as some of the African American fighters who fight like that. Like Mayweather could use his legs like that 12 rounds out of 12 rounds if he wants. That's part of his American style. You know what I mean? Daniel Jacobs, he doesn't look like he's tired when he gets on his bike versus Golovkin. He didn't look tired and fatigued versus Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, when he used his legs versus Postal, he didn't look like he ran out of gas. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And it's not just African American. I mean, Tyson Fury, he used a lot of movement, but he looked like he could sustain it versus Klitschko. Like, he used a lot of movement. So it just it's just really what's good with your style. But Edeslani Lara too. He uses legs a lot. I mean, people say he ran versus Canelo, right? They said he ran, but he didn't look tired from all the running. So to me, it's more unnatural for Canelo than it would be for Jacobs. Jacobs has way more stamina, and he's more comfortable in that style. Canelo, he's at best still learning and doesn't know how to fully utilize that. Like, even on the ropes, he looks sweet versus Golovkin, but if Canelo had Floyd Mayweather's mind on the ropes, but he was Canelo's size, imagine Triple G trying to hit Golovkin on the ropes, because Maidana tried to pin Floyd to the ropes, and that defense was sweet. And Maidana's more awkward than Triple G is, and maybe even a little bit faster. And Jacobs has a crispy ass jab, so does the Charlos. That's what I'm saying. You guys gotta, I don't know, come out to these fights, man, because you'll be able to see. I just seen the Charlos last week. I just seen Jacobs. I don't know when it's been, but it's been a while. I've seen him several times, and these dudes are pretty big for middleweight. You know what I mean? 6 feet, 6'1". Canelo is short, so he's gonna have to get past the piston jab and find a way on the inside if he wanted to win. Pernell Whitaker, definitely one of the slickest of all times. But like I said, that's more ingrained in his natural style. So it just has to kind of be that. Like even Prince Nassim, the way he moved, I seen videos of Prince Nassim, no joke. He was like 6 and 7. He was doing the same shit. Canelo's not 5'9". They list him at 5'9". He's not 5'9". I stood right next to him. He's not 5'9". He's definitely not 5'9". And Mayweather's not 5'9" either. I'm pretty good with the eye test when it comes to height. Canelo, he's not 5'9". I mean, maybe with like shoes on and shit, but if he just sat and he's not. If he just was in socks or something, he's not 5'9". But anyway, Jacobs would be a tough fight for him. That's the bottom line. Charlo's a tough fight for him. Because he would have to find a way. Mayweather ain't 5'4", hell no. Pacquiao's like 5'5" and a half. Mayweather's not that small. Seen on IFL, Big Baby has an elbow injury. Yeah, I heard about that. He said he had an elbow injury in camp, but I mean, he got the victory. It wasn't his best showing. He admits it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I don't think Canelo follows me on Instagram, but he's liked some of my stuff before. And I watch like on your Instagram story, you could tell who watched it. And I seen he had watched one of my stories. I did like a Keith Thurman video edit when he was about to fight Danny Garcia, and I seen he watched it on my story. But yeah, Canelo's not no 5. Cause Golovkin's like 5'10" and a half, and he looked mad taller than Canelo. So y'all can believe whatever you want, but you just gotta make it make sense to the crowd. That's really what it is. And if you think Canelo beats Jacobs easily with no resistance, then I want to hear this. I want to hear. All right, we got another hot seat before I get out of here. NW Oyster, he said, let's be honest, McGregor exposed Mayweather. A guy with 0 boxing fights gave Mayweather problems. Okay, now I'm about to give you problems because you're about to be out of here very shortly. Okay, how did Mr. Conor McGregor give Mayweather so many problems? And I don't even understand why you would even do that, because it's like, who's even talking about Floyd, to be honest? But, okay, what problems did he get? This is really my life. Y'all giving him the L, he didn't even respond. He didn't even fucking respond and y'all put L. Oh my, Eagle Army is ruthless. He didn't even give his reason, y'all said L. That's hella funny. Well, he gonna get the spotlight if he answers. He landed one uppercut. Oh my gosh. Hey, one of my mods, just block him. He's clearly wasting time. Or unless you want to give him. He answered. Hold on. Hold on. He answered. Don't block him. Mayweather did not finish McGregor quick. A guy with 0 boxing fights. So, where's these problems that McGregor gave him? Where are these problems at? Please tell me. So you can get your L and I can go to bed. I say I like to get my L's. I get L's before I give away L's before I brush my teeth for bed. So where is it? Where are these problems at? He said, give me the L. Okay. since you said that, now I'm gonna give you it. Okay, so one L is this. Look how fucking big Conor McGregor looked next to Floyd. Look how big, like Conor's bigger than the fucking ref Robert Byrd, and Floyd looks a little bit shorter than Robert Byrd. Look how fucking big Conor McGregor looks. Look how big he looks next to him. So you talking about, oh, he couldn't knock him out. Look how big he looks. And he had to carry all that extra weight. He hit Mayweather with his bare shit, and he still did nothing. Mayweather ate his uppercut like it was a McGriddle. He got hit clean coming in, wasn't even checking for it, and he ate it and that was it. So really, that was his heroic moment. Like really, that's what he did. He landed okay. First of all, for the most part, no one's really expecting the uppercut because it's coming from underneath, and if your eyes are like usually focused and centered on your target, so it's coming underneath. Floyd went like this, got hit, and ate that shit. So what did McGregor really and truly do? But gas out, collect a lot of money, and then drink whiskey. That's how you, bro. I've covered so many fights now. That's how you know he lost. Cause Conor was tipsy at the podium. He was off his whiskey. I ain't never seen that. I never seen a fighter like noticeably drunk and like, hey, cheers. So he knew he lost. And you say all this like, oh, a guy. See, I could tell you're a casual. A guy with zero boxing. Conor actually used to box in Crumlin or Dublin or whatever. He used to box when he was a kid. And he's a fighter. He's still a fighter. So, who cares? You want to just... Okay, yeah, you're getting blocked. He said, give me the L. Mission accomplished. Y'all just be putting stupid shit. That was that easy work. Y'all always want to give so much credit to the Great White Hope. Like he did. What did he do? Like, honestly, I don't... First of all, Floyd was in there toying with him, right? The reason I say that is because Floyd has fought better boxing competition, right? And he never threw that few punches, no matter how big the threat. If he whether De La Hoya was beating him early, or like Diego Corrales, or if it's Canelo, there's bigger boxing threats that were bigger than Floyd, stronger than Floyd, more weight, Maidana, and he didn't fight them apprehensive where he threw that few punches. So he clearly carried him, because when have we ever seen Floyd do that little for 3 rounds? He came out see, I know my boxing. When he fought Canelo, he came out stupid aggressive, because I think he underestimated Canelo's boxing ability. So he's like, oh, this 23-year-old ain't got nothing for me. But Canelo was looking kind of sharp, and he was trying to counter him. So he let off the gas, like, okay, this kid ain't coming to play. Let me get back to boxing. But he came out guns blazing versus Canelo. So if he had no fear for Canelo, who just beat Austin Trout, bigger than him, lifelong boxer, and then he literally did that little in the first 3 rounds, he carried Conor, because that makes no sense that you would fight Canelo only a few years before and you would be that aggressive. And man, the whole thing was he robbed the bank, bottom line. You watch that All Exodus epilogue, they told you the blueprint. He was like, he gonna get tired. Floyd listen, I know personally, and I'm not gonna tell you who told me, but I know people in the Mayweather gym. I know personally, Floyd wasn't even fucking training like he normally would train for an actual boxer. Like, Floyd didn't skip nothing for Pacquiao. He didn't, he had the best sparring and all that. So Floyd was sparring light dudes. He was sparring like Jose Vargas and like guys who were 30 pounders. Knowing Conor McGregor is that fucking big, why wouldn't you be sparring some of your bigger? Like, I guarantee you, I know for a fact, when he was sparring versus Maidana, or I mean when he was sparring in preparation for Maidana, he was fighting bigger guys. I'm not saying every fucking sparring partner, but some of the guys were bigger. You know, at least 54 pounders. Maybe sometimes he even fought super middles and stuff. But for Conor McGregor, he's sparring Devin Haney, guys at like 130 and Jose Vargas and shit like that. He wasn't sparring like the heaviest people. Daquan Mays, stuff like that. Knowing Conor was gonna weigh more than him. His father is his trainer. Shout out to Floyd Sr. And he was training himself for some of the camp. I know this for a fact, that he was training himself for some of the camp because people have told me. So Floyd was still training, but he wasn't training like training. I guarantee you his preparation looked a little bit different for Pacquiao and Cotto. Period. From the people and the size of the people that he Senior was training Devin Haney. Floyd was going to Ricky Funes and posting videos on Instagram, allowing people. When does Floyd really allow people to come into his training sessions and record it like he did at the Ten Goosen gym? You know what I'm saying? That shit was for show, build up hype. Floyd was playing around like, I'm not the same I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. He robbed the bank. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. He robbed the fucking bank on y'all. I just watched it for the entertainment value. Floyd, you smart as fuck. Keep doing your thing, man. Now his daughter rapping. He robbing the bank. Y'all talking about Conor McGregor really did something. What did he do? And Conor was getting stopped, head rocked, and he let Conor do all that talk. I'm telling you, this year's been bad. For the people who've done the prime trash talking, this year ain't been good. Conor McGregor was talking big shit. I don't know, I bounced heads off canvases, and then got knocked out. Bermain Stavern, I'ma kill you. Got knocked out in the first round. Charlo, he's a paper champion. Got knocked out. Cuba Adias was saying Jacobs, he getting too much credit for going the distance. Who gonna hit the deck? He hit the deck more than me, and then he got outclassed in 12 rounds out of 12 rounds. Like, fucking George St. Pierre put a beating on Michael Bisping, Joanna, Cody Garbrandt. It's like everybody who did like slight, like borderline overboard trash talking, they lost their fights. Their big fight this year. Boxing, no more boxing, MMA. Yeah, I mean, but that was a spectacle. I don't think it was ever supposed to be a fucking a monthly thing where boxers come over. Conor got a big mouth. He has a fan base. Floyd got a big mouth, got a fan base, so they made it happen. Period. But it wasn't supposed to be an ongoing thing. It was a once and done. Too much money for them to miss out on. They did the shit, and that's it. McGregor apparently had a concussion. One of a former ringside physician was talking about he got brain damage. So like, y'all doing too much talking about he exposed Mayweather. How you expose him and you got to get a fucking CAT scan and you got brain damage? Like, y'all just be saying stuff, man. He got exposed. The guy with 0 boxing fight. Well, the guy with 0 boxing fights he still has the 0. His record 0-1. Talking about a guy with 0 boxing fights. Now he has 1 fight, but it's 0-1. Definitely ready for Lomachenko rigging out. Shout out to Askiar who shared $5 super chat. We ganging, money, shmoney. Great fight. There's just variables. I don't know. Lomachenko was at the fights in Fresno, the Jose Ramirez card. Yeah, I heard Holly Holm and Katie Taylor. Man, fuck that. I was trying to see Holly Holm versus Chris Cyborg, and I heard it's off. That's weak. Hey, that's kind of faulty that the female boxing still isn't big, so the female boxers gotta fuck around with MMA too. Because I heard Amanda Serrano is gonna try to do some MMA shit. Heather Hardy was doing MMA shit, and now they're trying to get Katie Taylor. Like, damn, that's crazy. Female boxing is like still that unpopular where they gotta cross. You know what I mean? They gotta cross over. She's scared to face Cyborg. Cyborg might be too strong, yeah. Because that Duran to me was clipping up Holly Holmes with some good power shots. Chris Cyborg is just like Rocky. You know what I'm saying? She kind of hub. She might knock Holly Holm out. Chris Cyborg just looks like she don't care. And then like even little experience like training with Clarissa Shields. Yeah, that might not be good for Holly Holm. Cause like Duran to me got power, but I think Chris Cyborg is like, for the women around that division, Chris Cyborg is the one with the real power. Who the fuck is Batista? Who's Batista? I'm not. Listen, it's too late. I don't even feel like battling Batista. He just got blocked off the strength. I just read what he was putting. He wasn't even saying nothing. He was like on some Mean Girls. You can't sit with us or some shit. I don't have time, man. I'm about to go to bed. I don't have time for this shit right now. This hot seat. See, y'all be the hot seat getting so popular, backed by popular demand. People are begging to be in it, and they know they're gonna get fried. Some people just want attention so bad, man. Crazy. I don't got time for that right now. Like I said, I don't like desperate dudes. Very weird. Very weird. Bottom line, Canelo, I don't think he would fight Jacobs or Charlo next. But shit, prove me wrong. It's boxing, right? What do y'all think about Oscar De La Hoya saying that he would have improved Wilder's career and had Joshua Bagan and made Wilder? I did a video about it, but I want to know, since we're live, he said that he would have made Wilder a superstar by now. Do you think De La Hoya would have made Wilder a superstar? Someone said Oscar mad nobody want to sign with him. Listen, can't be proven. Wow, y'all going in. He loved lying on camera for some. Listen. I'm just honest, and I'm gonna take it down to the bare essentials. If what Oscar was saying was true, one, why don't you have one African American fighter who's even in the same realm of popularity as Canelo? You know what? Not even just African American fighter. Golden Boy in general, they don't have any fighter in general that is even near superstar status other than Canelo. Like African American, the reason I'm saying African American is because if you're trying to lure one in, I don't think Golden Boy has shown so far, since they split with Al Heyman, they haven't really produced any African American champions that they're putting on like and putting a lot of money behind. That's why I said that. But Bruce, really, Miguel Cotto, who's fighting Saddam Ali, and it's his last fucking fight. So you're really gonna hold on, just so I get this straight, Bruce. Your answer is Miguel Cotto, who's already been an established star, who has Cotto Promotions, who jumped from Top Rank working with them to Rock Nation to Golden Boy, and is on his last fight. It's November, and his last fight is in December, and he's hanging him up. And then that's what you're gonna use. You're gonna use Miguel Cotto. That's like using Bernard Hopkins when he fought Joe Smith Jr. He's on his last fucking fight. He said, no matter what, this is my last fight. And coincidentally, he got knocked out of the ring. And the other reason why, Bruce, like, I don't know. Are you in school? Did you graduate? Yeah, I said name another star, but that was pitiful because Cotto was already a star. Everyone knew who Cotto was when he signed to Golden Boy. I know, but you gotta, like, you have to be able to put a little bit of thought into what you're gonna say. You're like, I just answered, bro. But honestly, do you honestly think that's a good answer? Okay, put it this way. since you really want to do this and it's late and I don't really have patience right now. Miguel Cotto, both of his fights with Golden Boy were perhaps his shittiest fights in the last 10 years of his career. So you really want to do this? What has Golden Boy done for Cotto other than put on his shittiest fights in the last 5-10 years of his career? Like, his last 2 fights have literally been probably his worst fights that I can remember, because he has a great resume overall. He fought fucking Kamagai, and now he's fighting a welterweight that got stopped last year. So really, how did Golden Boy really do all this stuff to hype up Miguel Cotto and really build him? He was already an established star, and the fights they put on for him have been basura. They've been fights nobody even cared about. And then on top of that, since you really want to talk about it, Golden Boy, they put on Cotto versus, to their credit, it was before Mayweather McGregor, but even when they found out Mayweather McGregor was happening, they didn't move the date, which was stupid, because they competed with Mayweather McGregor, which did over 4 million pay-per-view buys, and for some reason Golden Boy thought that it would be in their best interest to still have the Cotto Kamagai fight on the same night as Mayweather McGregor. Like, does that sound like a smart business decision? I understand people have pride and no one wants to bow down, but when someone has a fight as big as Mayweather McGregor, for whatever reason, you gotta come up off that date if you want to make the most money. They could have had it the week before, week after, and it would have been cool. But they left the date. Cool, whatever, bro. Didn't mean to offend. No, you didn't offend. I'm just saying, like, when I ask the questions for the audience, like, we're kind of looking, the whole audience is looking for good answers. And you know that's not a good answer, since Cotto is retiring and Golden Boy acquired Cotto, bouncing back, like, you know what I mean, coming off of being with Rock Nation, and he was already an established star. Listen, the reason why I don't think your answer is good is because Oscar De La Hoya's statement was that he would have made Deontay Wilder a star, right? So, AKA, Wilder's never fought on pay-per-view as a pay-per-view attraction, and De La Hoya is saying, I would have made him a pay-per-view attraction, and Joshua would have been begging to fight him, right? So, for you to looking for coherent answers, thank you to Roy. That's the great way to put it. So, you can't take an established name in boxing, a guaranteed Hall of Famer who's been on pay-per-view, who really was just bouncing around from promoter to promoter. He really went from Top Rank to Rock Nation to Golden Boy, looking for the best deals and whoever he could finish his career out with, right? And he was already an established star. He's already a pay-per-view star. So Golden Boy didn't make him a star. In fact, they put on his worst fights in his last chapter of his career. So that's not a good answer, especially when you're trying to prove that they would have made Wilder a star. Cotto was already a star, and I already fought the Pacquiao's, Floyd's, and Martinez's on pay-per-view. Wilder is not there yet in terms of having pay-per-view success yet, where he's the main event pay-per-view person, and De La Hoya is saying he could have made that. So that's a big difference. We're like Roy said, we're looking for coherent answers. You talking about Cotto. So back to coherent answers. Name another star on Golden Boy that is a pay-per-view attraction. You know what I'm saying? You can't even say David Lemieux. David Lemieux been on one pay-per-view with Golovkin and got his ass beat. Are these not facts or what? They have Soto Karasu just retired because he got stopped again. I don't know if it was back-to-back stoppages, but I know a guy that Cotto demolished. Kamagai knocked him out. So my thing is this, like I said in the last stream with the wedding photographer. If I'm a wedding photographer, you're planning an elaborate wedding, you're going to want to see my credentials. You're going to want to see my work to prove that I'd be the right fit to be your wedding photographer. So once again, if De La Hoya is saying that I could have made Wilder a star. Who have you made a star other than Canelo? You know what I'm saying? And Canelo is like a very unique package because he could scrap, and he looks Irish, white, but he's really Mexican, and he speaks Spanish. So he has a unique package. Wilder is a trash talking, brash, charismatic, dark skinned black dude from Alabama. So that's a different package that you would have to sell to the public other than Canelo. You know what I'm saying? We know the Mexican fan base is great for boxing. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia may get there. That's my dude. Shout out to Ryan Garcia, but he's not there now. I mean, he's 10-0, I think. B-Hop had Golden Boy tatted on his back. Is that real? Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know B-Hop had a fucking Golden Boy tattoo. But anyway, I'm just saying, if you're saying you can make someone a pay-per-view star, my thing is, who else have you made? Who have you made a star other than Canelo? David Lemieux's not a household name. Joseph Jojo Diaz isn't a household name. Rosado's not a main event pay-per-viewer. Ryan Garcia is still young in his career. Marlon Esparza. Diego De La Hoya. Like, Bernard Hopkins' last fight wasn't on pay-per-view. It was on regular-ass HBO. So how can you promise that to Deontay Wilder? So to me, it sounds like you're just throwing shade at Heyman and stuff like you normally do. Unless you could prove what you... Like, okay, let's say I'm a YouTube channel consultant. And I'm like, man, I could improve your YouTube channel. I have a leg to stand on because I started from the ground up. Nobody other than the fans helped me. Like, you know what I mean? I never partnered with somebody or had someone run or take over the channel or whatever. I produced the content. So if I got hired to give channel reviews, then that makes sense because I've done it. I've accomplished good things on the YouTube platform. We just got verified, etc. But if I had 1,000 subscribers and I'm like, man, I could make your YouTube go viral, would you believe me? You know? Oh my God, these comments are so funny. You wouldn't believe me unless I could show you proof that I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? If I got 1,000 subscribers and barely any views, right? Would you be like, oh, hey, guess what? He can turn our YouTube channel viral. No, you would want to see the proof of that. So that's all I'm saying. And I think one of the greatest points with this whole thing, you would have made Wilder a superstar. Somebody answer this for me. If y'all want to hear my question with this whole De La Hoya statement, can I get a hell yeah? For all the people that are still paying attention, can I get a hell yeah? And I'm gonna give y'all a different perspective. Okay. So what fight would, okay, my question is this. What fight would Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy have been able to make for Deontay Wilder to make him this pay-per-view star? Right? Name someone in the division other than Joshua, because he said the whole thing is, the pretense is he says Joshua would have been begging you for the fight. So that means he would have to make him a star before that. So who could Golden Boy have matched him up? Saddam Ali, please stop. Y'all tripping. Who could Golden Boy have matched him with that would have made him a star? Someone said Klitschko. But, I mean, the reason Klitschko and Joshua was made is because Eddie Hearn's a UK promoter, and they made the fight at Wembley. They made the fight at Wembley. So what would Oscar have been able to do to guarantee a Klitschko fight? You know what I'm saying? You don't know that he would have been able to guarantee that fight. How would you know? The reason Klitschko made hella money and Joshua made a lot of money fighting in Wembley because they sold so much and it was a big deal. To Sean Dong. So I don't see how Oscar, when Klitschko was with K2 Promotions, I don't see how he would have been able to guarantee Klitschko. So that wouldn't have necessarily worked. Everything matched up and fit for Eddie Hearn to make this huge they have a UK star in Joshua. They have a big UK venue in Wembley. They have Klitschko, who was fighting in Germany, so that was a shoo-in. That was an easy fit. Plus Tyson Fury relinquished his belt, so they made it for an extra strap. Joshua already had a strap. Wilder got one belt. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that Oscar would have been able to pull all these strings for one belt to make Klitschko come to America to fight Deontay Wilder for just the WBC. And again, back to my initial point, there's two great fights that Wilder was signed up to have against Alexander Povetkin in Russia and also against Luis Ortiz. So those fights didn't happen because it had nothing to do with the promoter. It had something to do with the fighter. So even if Oscar would have made those fights, it wouldn't have changed that they couldn't pass the clean boxing program with VADA. Exactly. So that's the thing. Deontay Wilder could have had Don King promoting him, Charles Lee Ray from Child's Play. He could have had anybody he wanted promoting it. It doesn't stop Povetkin from having meldonium in his system and Luis Ortiz testing positive for blood pressure medicine. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I don't agree with Oscar, because no matter who the promoter was, those fights wouldn't have happened if they can't get past the protocol of drug testing. Handy. So, and like I said, name someone Golden Boy has that's as big as Errol Spence Jr. Like Top Rank has Terrence Crawford and Vasyl Lomachenko. Name someone other than Canelo that you would say is as big as Terrence Crawford or Lomachenko. And getting the recognition, exposure, headlining, stuff like that. Please let me know. So I just named two fighters on Top Rank that have a good amount of exposure through Top Rank. So name somebody. You know what I mean? Or even like the UFC. Name somebody who's as big as Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey was within the UFC. Or GSP, where everybody in the UFC knows who these people are. Rousey, McGregor, GSP. You know what I'm saying? Golden Boy doesn't really have that other than Canelo. They don't have no other star that's just like, whoa, everybody knows him. It's a household name. So that's my thoughts. So I don't see how Oscar would have been able to guarantee Wilder immortality and all this superstardom. Who have you made a superstar? Joseph Jojo Diaz. Listen, Joseph Jojo Diaz was on the same Olympic team as Errol Spence Jr. Joseph Jojo Diaz is a champion, if I'm not mistaken. Joseph Jojo Diaz has a few more fights than Errol Spence Jr. Same Olympic team, both champions, both solid, good fighters, right? But I guarantee you Joseph Jojo Diaz's purses aren't looking like Errol Spence's last few purses. I guarantee you Joseph Jojo Diaz is not as known with more fights than Errol Spence Jr. and they're on the same Olympic team. So obviously Al Haymon is not doing that bad, because why isn't Joseph Jojo Diaz more of a name than Errol Spence Jr.? They came out of the same Olympic team. Joseph Jojo Diaz has more fights than Errol Spence, and they're both good fighters and both champions. Yet at least Errol Spence is main eventing. Lucas Matisse, no, it doesn't really count. Lucas Matisse ain't no star anymore. When's the last time he fought? Canelo Chavez, and who did he fight? Emmanuel Taylor, Guy Broner beat. I haven't, honestly, name a YouTube channel that made a recent video in the last 2 months about Lucas Matisse. And what was it? So I'll type it in right now. Honestly, who's even talking about Lucas Matisse? Diaz is an undercard fighter. Yeah, and Errol Spence is making more money, and he's at least main eventing. Co-main at best, yeah. Lucas Matisse's own YouTube channel. See, y'all crazy now. I'm just saying, nobody's really talking about Lucas Matisse. He's a good fighter, a solid fighter, but I mean, where's his buzz at? He's like, I haven't heard anything about Lucas Matisse. Like, man, I can't. Like, I hear that with other fighters. Like, when's Kell Brook or Amir Khan coming back? I haven't even really heard no one. Have I seen Alex Saucedo? Yeah, he fought tonight. I want to see him in the winner of Jose Ramirez in Amir Mont. That'll be a good fight. Who's reaching? Matisse is done after he quit against Postal. See, and Jordan brings up a very good point. He might be, because beating Broner's leftovers and Emmanuel Taylor, who also lost to I think Antonio Orozco since that, right? And then Lucas Matisse knocking that don't really prove nothing. We know Matisse has power. We know he's good. He fought Matisse at welterweight. Emmanuel Taylor's not a welterweight. He lost to Chris Algieri after he lost to Broner, after he lost to Antonio Orozco, right? And then now he's moving up to 140, and this is just off the top of my head. Now he's moved up to 147 to fight Matisse. I mean, that doesn't really prove nothing. So, yeah, Matisse, he definitely has to climb back a ladder. Fight like Matisse Luis Collazo. That's good. Fight Jeff Horn. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta fight somebody. Like, that is, Emmanuel Taylor doesn't really prove it to me. These guys naming fighters that ain't got that profile, they're reaching. Well, like I said, sometimes that's what happens when the questions are too hard. If you don't know the answer to the question, you're gonna just start reaching around and grabbing. Why doesn't Wilder fight Charles Martin? Why would he? Where's Charles Martin? That's stupid. He said, why doesn't he fight Charles Martin? Okay. So, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going to promise someone superstardom, then you should be able, you have to have some kind of merit or track record to prove. Like, and see, look at it like this. Let's say I open up a restaurant, and then you go to Yelp, and everything I'm saying about my restaurant, the people on Yelp aren't saying. You always walk by and look in the window, and there's nobody eating in my restaurant. So despite me saying, like, all the food's this is the best Mexican food you'll ever have, right? The Yelp reviews say otherwise. The fact that every time I walk by, no one's in there eating, that says otherwise. So I'm not trying to roast Golden Boy, but I'm just saying, if you think about it, if Oscar could provide these fighters so much more that people he no longer has, like Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, even people like Jesse Vargas, Errol Spence, Deontay Wilder, why are none of them leaving? Why are none of them taking the offer? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, if his deals were so sweet, then how come none of them left their situation to take the deal? Mikey Garcia even. Mikey Garcia don't even have contractual. Shout out to the UK, baby. Mikey Garcia doesn't even have a promoter or a contractual anything. Why didn't he take why is he fighting in February on Showtime most likely? You know what I'm saying? If the deal was that sweet. So obviously Golden Boy has to kind of go back to the drawing board, because nobody's taking the deal. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, so that, like I said, with the restaurant, if I'm telling you my Mexican food is the best in town, but the stats have to show that, because they don't want the shitty multi-fight contract for less money. That's what I'm saying. There has to be a reason why. See, and it's so funny. This boxing game is so twisted. People always say this fighter sucks and Al Heyman's the devil and all that. But why won't more people leave the devil? Why does it look like people are doing everything they can, except for Vanes Martirosyan? That's the only person I can think of who publicly expressed a lot of disinterest or like discontent with being signed to Al Heyman. Everyone else is keeping it cool. You know what I mean? And these fight contracts or these fight deals, they're not taking from Golden Boy. So to me, that has to... Y'all keep talking about Charles Martin. I walk this earth like a god. Joshua hit him so fucking hard. That was crazy. So, I mean, that has to tell you something. If they're all getting fight contract like offers and none of them are taking, then that has to show you something. Like, why wouldn't they? I'm trying to see Tashawn Dong versus Charles Martin. Y'all sleeping on my dude Tashawn, man. See, why didn't Golden Boy make Tashawn? Why didn't Golden Boy make Tashawn Dong into a star? He's 7 feet. You know how many people live in China? He's Chinese. You know how many people live in China? That would be an easy way to market. You know what I mean? Have him fighting in Asia. Where the fuck is Tashawn Dong at? Man, y'all sleeping. Where Tashawn Dong been? I hate saying that name too, because that sounds so like pornographic. Look. They say they can make Wilder a star. But what about my dude Tashawn Dong? Big Trouble in Little China. You want to know what Jack Burton always says? Just get to the goddamn point, eggs. Where's my dude Tashawn Dong? Honestly. Look at that. Oh my god. Tashawn Dong got heat. Look at that. He throwing heat, man. Joshua, I don't know what you smiling for, man. Tashawn Dong coming for you. What the fuck is that? Oh my gosh. Everybody's ducking Tashawn. Why his abs look hella weird to me? His abs look like wild crazy right now. Does that look weird to you? Like, I'm not trying to be in the mirror. Who the fuck is this? Hey. Oh, fuck. Y'all ducking Tashawn Dong, man. Oh my gosh. Look at him winding up the punch. Hey, bro. Tashawn Dong is the realest out. Charles Martin. He said Charles Martin would stop him. Oh my gosh. Hey. Tashawn Dong is on fire with it. Oh my god. Oh. Is that Jarrell Miller? He fought Tashawn Dong? What the fuck? Who is that? Is that Big Baby? Oh my gosh. Look how quick he is. That's why his glove looks blurry. Look at that haircut, man. He just told the barber, he said, shave them sides, man. I don't even want them sides anymore. He got a mohawk or some shit. Hey, bro, is he getting blasted? Who the fuck is that? Oh my. He fight Joe Smith Jr. and shit. Moved him up to heavyweight. That's why Klitschko really retired. Because Tashawn Dong. Who is that? Black Butterbean? Oh my gosh. Who is he fight? Hey, what is that? What the fuck is the Roy Nelson? What's the dude from from UFC? The cowboy looking dude. Roy Nelson? Is that his name? Oh my gosh. Who is the dude from the UFC? Roy Nelson. Is that him? So it said Jack Black. Hey, I'm about to hang up. You guys are tripping. Hey, Tashawn's too strong for the heavyweight division. Oh shit. Who the fuck is he knocking out? Hey, Tashawn Dong. That motherfucker look big though, pause. Look at that face, man. He ain't playing no games. Look. So I said he fight Lyft drivers. Oh, fuck. It's weird how Google works. How's like Mayweather McGregor getting caught up with Tashawn Dong pictures? Oh my gosh. This is why y'all scared of the heavyweight division. Oh fuck. But that's what I'm saying. They said they made Wilder a star. Why is Tashawn Dong? Why is he not? Why is Tashawn Dong not a heavyweight star right now? Oh my gosh. Why? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? If Golden Boy could make him and Wilder into a star, why? Like real shit. Hold up. Oh fuck. Listen, I got a real question. Oh. So it said the Asian lurch. Listen, I got a real serious question for y'all. With it. Oh my gosh. Listen. I'm crying. Listen. Why the fuck did Golden Boy sign him? Like, listen, just hear me out. Why the fuck they? Hold on. I must be so tired. I'm getting delirious. But listen, I got a real question. Why the fuck did Golden Boy sign him? Like, what was the? Oh fuck! Hold on. Oh my! Whoever called it. Whoever called him Saget, this shit is so funny. Tiger. Oh my gosh. Tiger. No, listen. Alright, I'm gonna try to get this out. This shit is very hard. I think I'm getting tired, so I'm getting delirious. Okay, my thing is like this. Who the fuck signed him? Like, what did Golden Boy, like, what was their plans for him? Because I don't see him. Like, I went to Canelo Triple G, right? Why didn't they put him as like co-main event versus a heavyweight? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? Like, why did Golden Boy say, yo, this Tashawn Dong dude, we want him under the banner? Like, what have they done? Like, what have they done with him? Like, to move him? Like, he ain't fought one heavyweight that I've even heard of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you put him in there with fucking anybody? Like Big Baby Miller. Like, why would you, like, I don't get, Like, what was the plan for him? Do you guys understand? Oh my gosh. I need help, y'all, because I want to know. Like, they're just gonna keep him in the stable and not he wasn't gonna fight no like heavyweights that anyone knows. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why did they sign him if they weren't gonna use him? It's like they just signed him because of his size or some shit, and then they didn't really they didn't really move him. They didn't really do, like, for example, why wouldn't you put him in there with like Eric Molina or somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, the motherfucker's 7 feet tall. Why didn't you put him in with Dominic Brazil or like somebody? Like, I just don't understand what they signed him for if they're never gonna use. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of like Cash Money. Cash Money at one point, like the record label, they would sign people and then the person's album never really came out. Like, they didn't really, like, they signed Tina Marie and Mac 10 and like just random people, and then they never did nothing with them. I've seen that where certain so and so gets signed, like, oh, Tyga gets signed to Good Music with Kanye, but he ain't dropped no albums under Kanye. You know what I'm saying? So what's what's the point? Like, what was the, if you're gonna sign, like, okay, for example, Shakur Stevenson, Top Rank signed him, but they're trying to move him. You know what I mean? Like, they're putting him on. He gonna be on the Rigondeaux Lomachenko card, right? Tyga did a management deal. Oh wow. Like, I don't understand the MO for Tashawn Dong. Yeah, Mick Connellan. They're moving all those guys. They're still getting them fight dates. Jose Ramirez, but I don't understand why Tashawn Dong has been signed to Golden Boy, and I never see him on any Golden Boy card. Like, is he even out here? Like, does he live in America, or is he like went back to China or some shit? Huh? I really want to know. I want to know what's cracking with the Tashawn Dong project. Like, why did they put him on Canelo Triple G? Like, what does he do for a living? Like, I mean, he's a fighter. How's he get money if he's not getting any fights? So I don't. I just want to know what the plan for him is as a heavyweight fighter. Cause hold on, let me. Y'all sleeping on my man Tashawn Dong. Hold on. I literally don't know the last time he fought. Oh my gosh. His record is 6-0. He only has 6 fights. And that's weird. He only has a 50% knockout ratio and he's 7 feet tall with an 84-inch reach. Bro, that man, free Dong, free Tashawn. He ain't fought since Christmas of 2015, and he was getting busy for a minute. 1, 2, 3. They gave him 4 fights. Why hasn't he fought in 2 years? Someone said Ego has gay mannerisms and you got block mannerisms. You done. He goes, okay, I got gay mannerisms and you blocked. Fuck out of here. He said I got gay mannerisms and his name is Mr. Lee. Okay. Why is Tashawn... See, they starving Tashawn Dong out because everybody's ducking him. He couldn't get a fight since 2015. That's faulty. Yeah, I seen he kept putting the same shit over and over and over and over again. Yeah, you got block mannerism. Damn, that... But, like I said, like, you can't say you'll make Wilder a star and you've been having Tashawn Dong, who's clearly being avoided, and you won't Where's his star power? He ain't fought since 2015. Why? Like that's what I'm saying. Why do you even sign somebody, and especially if someone that big, and he ain't fought in 2 years? Shit, it's about to be 3. No, because it's in December. Man, y'all gotta free Tashawn Dong, man. The system trying to keep him locked down. Oscar said that because he's hurt, nobody wants to sign him. I'm just I'm just having fun with it, but at the end of the day, it's just like, why aren't people why aren't people signing the contract? If Golden Boy can offer you, and like, it makes it, to me, Oscar doing these interviews, it makes it look worse for him, because he keeps saying, oh, fighters need a promoter, they gotta have a promoter. But why is if what your company is offering is so illustrious and great, then why is everyone rejecting it? If fighters need a promoter, like, why is no one taking you up on your offer? That, to me, that isn't. It's like, you know, when you go to, I don't know, you go to like a car dealership or something and buy a car, and they're like, you want some Gap insurance? And you're like, nah, I'm good. That's like, hey, you really should get the Gap insurance. You should really get this. Or here's a more common example. You go to Best Buy and you get a laptop, and you want the accidental spill protection and the Best Buy plan and extended warranty. If it's so great, then how come no one's buying it? You have 6 customers that came in, and none of them want the warranty. So either it's the way you're explaining it or something. Free Tashawn, man. Ego, what do you think about Lomachenko's loss to Salido? How can they put him in the pound for pound? Do you think he's deserving? Man, I'm off that. No, he's not pound for pound number 1 with 10 fights, period. You can't. You have to have some kind of crazy stellar resume. And people always bring up Walters and Gary Russell, but there were some guys in there on Pacquiao undercards and shit, where Lomachenko, he also fought on Mayweather Pacquiao undercard where he was fighting, and it was like, who the fuck are these guys? You know what I'm saying? So in 10 fights, no, he's not pound for pound. He's a really good fighter, but no. They had him over Ward. Simple politics. That's why new media is killing. Do you understand that new media, like channels like mine and shit, people gravitate, like real boxing fans gravitate to us more than other people who, they might have been covering boxing way longer than me. You know, I see some of these guys that cover boxing, and they'll post like fight ticket stubs or like credentials and stuff. Like, they've been covering boxing since De La Hoya was fighting Trinidad and shit, like old school fights. I was nowhere in the game. I didn't cover any of those fights. I wasn't on YouTube or nothing. But people still understand the movement and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? No country for old men. Like, there's a new breed in town. New voices covering boxing and talking boxing. Ego, you got me back into boxing, not HBO or ESPN. I just try to call it fair. And there's a lot of politics involved. That's a good comeback fight for Tyson Fury. Fight Tashawn Dong. They both need to come. They both haven't fought since 2015, and they both is huge right now. Like, pause. Tashawn Dong 7 feet. Tyson Fury 6'8", 25 stone. That's what I'm trying to see, man. Let's give the fans what they want. Fury versus Tashawn Dong, man. What do you think about Wilder and his recent political views pertaining to black people? I don't know what he said about black people, so I can't really speak on it. Ego got me into boxing again. Man, I must be doing something right if people are saying that. Damn, y'all roasted my dude Tashawn Dong. So it said Tashawn versus McGregor. Hey, yo, wow, this shit is so funny. We gotta start the movement, man. We gotta free Tashawn Dong. I'm trying to see Ricardo Mayorga slap Tashawn Dong at a press conference. That's the real fight. Mayorga versus Dong. That don't even sound right, putting Dong like Joshua Dong. Like what? Joshua Dong. That don't even sound right on the fight poster. Like Dong Fury. Dong Fury. Fuck. Y'all are funny, man. Ask Yar who said $5 super chat, gang gang. I thought you had to win belts in multiple weight classes to beat pound for pound. No, I don't think that. Like Marvin Hagler, he stayed put in a division. But I mean, I would say that should help, because if we're really talking about pound for pound, that definitely should help. But I don't think that's the only determining factor. But see, the difference is Hagler was fighting the Fantastic Four. He was fighting his contemporaries, and he lost some of them, but he arguably should have won. You know what I mean? Hey, hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. For some reason, we're struggling to get 100. It just stopped at 99, and it ain't moved in like a day. But anyway, Hagler, he still knocked out Roberto Duran and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and like if you talk about heavyweights, if you're already too big, then there's nowhere else for you to move up to. So I can understand people being pound for pound in one division, but you got to fight. If that is the case, like Golovkin or somebody, how could you have Golovkin before you fought Kell Brook or something? How could you at that time have put him on the pound for pound list? Who did he fight? So I don't think you have to move up per se, but it should help you and help you determine who's pound for pound. But it's really, you got to have the resume. See, the bottom line, the game is, there's some bullshit in the game. Part of the bullshit in the game is like, people go with what they like and who they like and shit like that, and they go off of prophecies and who they think will do good. Like Lomachenko, he might, when it's all said and done, he might be the greatest, one of the greatest ever or some shit. But we have to go off of what he's proven. Ask Kiara who said $5 super chat, gang gang. He said, what is the criteria considered for pound? That's the thing. There's no set in stone criteria. What I put on my list, if I were to do one, would be different from HBO. HBO's list might be different from ESPN. So it's all subjective. There's no, like, pound for pound is really mythical. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, it's just like any other type of award. Like, you look at the Oscars, just because they say so-and-so won, like the year Denzel lost to Russell Crowe, you know what I mean? I thought Denzel should have won that particular year. So, you know what I'm saying? It's really what they want. Personal preference. You like Russell Crowe's movie? I like Denzel's movie. I thought he did a better acting job. You know what I mean? So that's how a lot of people grade their pound for pound list. You want Lomachenko to do good. You have connections with Lomachenko. He is a good fighter. So you're going to just put him up there and put him before Crawford. You have more ties to him. So you're going to say he's higher than Crawford. Yes, I have Crawford at number 1. I had him at number 2 only because Andre Ward was active. But when Andre Ward retired and nothing has changed, like in terms of, like, Crawford ain't lost or something since Ward retired, so why wouldn't I elevate him to the number 1 spot if I already had him at number 2? I mean, it's just simple mathematics, unless he got pushed back by, like, you know what I mean, someone beat him. Listen, we could do one last hot seat, and then I'm going to bed, because it's 3 o'clock here. Bottom line is this. Lomachenko said Crawford is pound for pound number 1. So ESPN, like, see, people, like, you got to look at it. The people who behind the people behind this stupid shit, your arguments only go so far, because, like, it doesn't even make sense. like people making it. Here, I'm gonna give you an example. Remember what I always say. Listen to what people say then and now. Wilder versus Joshua, it absolutely should happen. But there's a lot of people, a lot of them seem to be from the UK, that were on my videos making excuses for why Wilder doesn't allegedly deserve to be able to unify with the fellow champion. Because Joshua is so much bigger, he has 2 belts, he has a better resume, he fought Klitschko, yada, yada, yada. The fight shouldn't happen. But guarantee you this, Jarrell Big Baby Miller won his fight, but it wasn't his best performance against Amerish Weck, right? Wilder went in there with a guy who went 12 with him, and he cut that 12 into 1 and destroyed him in the first round, easy work, and had him looking like Dulcim, right? And now if Eddie Hearn decides to make Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Anthony Joshua, then no one's gonna make excuses. What happened to all the excuses saying Wilder doesn't deserve the fight, he's not selling out 80,000 stadiums, and he's not the A side, and this and that? So how does Jarrell Big Baby Miller, a non-champion, deserve the fight more than Wilder? You see how, that's what I'm saying, you guys don't think about the bullshit you spew beforehand. Because you did all this to prove that Wilder doesn't deserve the fight. So then if they make Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Joshua, you should be appalled. Because you said Wilder didn't deserve it. So then what did Jarrell Big Baby Miller in his last performance, him not having a belt, him not having as much power, him calling out Joshua, but not as Wilder's been doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Wilder's having PBC film videos and shit for him. So once again, you did all of this to explain to the public, the fans I'm talking about, they did all of this. We get it, move on. Tell me to move on one more time so I can block you. See, they always want you to move on when they don't want to hear what you're saying. Okay, so I said it 4 times. Now you don't have to hear about it because you're blocked. Listen, I don't have the patience for it. He's like, we get it. Then leave the stream. If you don't want to hear my presentation, you don't want to hear my thoughts, how I express it, then you don't have to be here. I don't want to hear you complaining. We get it, we get it. Anyway, the bottom line is this. People made all these excuses why Wilder doesn't deserve the fight. So if Jarrell Big Baby Miller gets the fight next, what happened to all those different things they were saying? About Wilder ain't sold this and he's never made this type of money. So how can Eddie Hearn make a Jarrell Big Baby Miller fight for Joshua? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You guys don't think about what you say. You just put out the excuses and then the shit don't check out. Hey, your boy Jeff Horn is bugging. He said, I'm number 1 on BoxRec. Champions have got to beat me. That shit is... That's crazy. Yeah, man. Y'all gotta... I just advise y'all, especially with the hot seat around, think about what your thought process is. Jeff Horn's GOAT, but he's fighting Gary Corcoran. Seems legit. In BoxRec, they have some fucked up scoring system, like based on who you beat and how many points they had. So since he beat Pacquiao, even though he didn't really beat him in my opinion, and he damn sure didn't do it convincingly, that gave him a whole hell of a lot of points. Keith Thurman, man, I can't wait till Terrence Crawford fights Jeff Horn. I might go to Australia. I'm gonna go to the zoo, look at some kangaroos and wallabies and crikey. Yeah, man, I can't wait. But yeah, man, y'all gotta start thinking about these points y'all say, because this shit don't even make sense. You just wrote a whole laundry list of why Wilder doesn't deserve a Joshua fight, but then you're okay if if Joshua fights Joseph Parker next, right? who hasn't looked as good as Wilder in his fights and is a newer champion. You're okay if Jarrell Miller gets a fight. So, like I said in the title, for me, I'd rather see Jarrell Big Baby Miller, two guys who are working and really want to get a title shot. Let's see them face each other. I want to see Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Dillan Whyte. Let's see them face each other to prove who's really the worthy one to get the title shot in the future, right? And then see the champs fight, Joshua Wilder. In a perfect world, that's how it should happen. But you know politics. Sometimes when someone has an okay or somewhat vulnerable performance, then that's the person that gets the fight. AJ gonna kill Wilder in round 7. Let's see it. There's not shit to talk about, to be honest. Listen, until Fury loses some weight and I can see it in his face and he has a fight date, Fury's out of the picture. Like, I don't understand why you guys are like, right now Fury's like the dad that said I'm going to the store and never came back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, so until he comes back home, then he's not really in the conversation. I mean, I'll make videos if he posts a funny video or something like that, but he's really not in the conversation. Everything he's done so far has really been on the sidelines. We don't know. We don't know anything about what Tyson Fury. Like I said, show me a British fighting license and a fight date, and then he's right back in there. Especially if he wins, he has to get a win. Y'all gotta think about what y'all say, man. And a lot of y'all speak with your heart. Like, yeah, Oscar is right. If he promoted Wilder, like, you see how stupid some of the shit sounds? Okay, Oscar De La Hoya's tweet says, I promoted Wilder for his first 33 fights. Listen, Oscar says, I'm still waiting. He said, I'm still waiting. What did he say? He said, I promoted Wilder's first 33 fights. And I tell you, if I was still promoting him, I would be he'd be a household name and he'd be a pay-per-view star. But check this out. Wilder only currently has 39 fights. 39 minus 33, that's 6 fights. So he's only had fights since De La Hoya was promoting his fights. And he's more known now than he was back then. So how does that make sense? You know what I mean? So when Oscar and Golden Boy had him for 33 fights, why wasn't he a pay-per-view star then? Why wasn't he already on pay-per-view? You know what I mean? They put the energy with Canelo. They were putting him on Mayweather cards. Building him up. Built up. He was calling out Floyd, giving a lot of exposure. So, again, why didn't you make him a pay-per-view star in 33 fights? Like, and right now, he's only had 6 fights since he's not been with Golden Boy. And now he's closer than ever to being on pay-per-view with Joshua. So, and he's making good money. So, to me, that you guys got to break down what people say. Even me. Just break down what people say. That doesn't make sense. And like I said, in Deontay Wilder's last 6 fights, he's probably received more main events and recognition and is closer than ever to a pay-per-view than any time in his first 33 fights. Period. And I tried telling y'all, but y'all don't want to listen. Another real reason that Golden Boy was where it was at the time was because Richard Schaefer. Because he was handling a lot of stuff. When Richard Schaefer left, they had to do some house cleaning and like switch stuff up and regroup. So I don't know how much of that was Oscar and how much of that was Richard Schaefer. See, because when you always have somebody reliable, like I've had managers above me. Like when I worked at Lowe's, I had managers above me, and they were really pretty much trash. But the reason they would get good walks were because they had department managers at the time, like me, and I would always have my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'd always have my shit done. So when we got walks, they look good because the departments that I would oversee and the other department managers, we were strong. So they get the credit for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it is with like the Oscar and Golden Boy. It doesn't matter who's footing the bill as long as the bill's being paid. You know what I mean? So if Richard Schaefer was structurally organizing everything and making sure the events go smoothly, then that's all that matters, is that the events were going smoothly, despite how much of it was Oscar. And again, I think a lot of it was Richard Schaefer, because Oscar wasn't even there for Canelo's biggest fight. He was in rehab when Canelo was fighting Mayweather. So somebody had to, between Leonard Ellerbe and Richard Schaefer and shit, somebody had to make sure that promotion still went well, because Oscar was dealing with his personal demons. So, yeah, man, hit the last minute likes. I'm about to go to bed. I'm tired now. All these laughing and Deshaun Dumb. It's been real. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. I know exactly what you mean. I work at Home Depot. Yeah, I mean, if you're the zone manager, and then all your people that manage the individual departments are holding you down, then it's gonna look like the zone manager is good, even though the zone manager is not really even that good. But as long as all the district manager cares about when he's walking the store is that the signage is up and the store is looking like it's supposed to, and then the person who's in charge, store manager or whoever, is gonna get credit for it. Why did Dr. Doc get banned? Exactly, making other people look like heroes. Shaking my head. Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, even if you look, see, I'm not even trying to get too deep because I'm tired, but even if you look at famous inventions, like people, Thomas Edison, shit like that, he gets credit for inventing stuff, and he really took other people's patents. Like, what's the dude's name? Nikolai or some shit. But at the end of the day, Thomas Jefferson was the face, and he was a bigger name in the public or whatever. So he took the credit for those inventions. Tesla, yeah. Exactly. See, y'all know. And that's the thing, and that's how it's always worked. So Golden Boy was putting on good fights and stuff like that, but they also have Richard Schaefer, who I think is on point as a businessman. You know what I mean? Was Oscar really running the company if he was having issues outside of boxing? You know what I mean? So, but none of that mattered. All the fans care about is that we were seeing the good of Canelo versus Mayweather. They weren't like tripping off what was going on behind closed doors. We just want to see the good fights. But I'm about to get out of here. I'll hit y'all up later today. Maybe do a live stream. Maybe just do some regular videos. Peace out. Everybody have a good night, good morning, depending on where you're at. Hit the like button, man. We got to get the Ego Army, the engagement where it's supposed to be at all times, so we can really take over this boxing game. Peace out.